This is the John Hallett podcast powered by ClearSky Training, where we break down what actually works in real-world self-defense and why most training gets it wrong. If you're training with us in Castle Rock, Colorado, this is the thinking behind what we do at Rocky Mountain Self-Defense and Fitness. And if you're an instructor or gym owner, this is where we talk about building better training and better systems. All right, Josh, let's get into this one.
Yeah.
What gets you arrested in a self-defense situation, even if you're right?
Even if you're right. Woo! That one sounds scary.
Most people think they're right all the time.
No.
They're safe. All right. They're good. They did what they were supposed to do. Right. They're not, because in a real self-defense situation, being right isn't enough. You have to be right legally.
Huge.
Right. You can win the fight and still lose everything after.
Yikes. So can you get arrested even if you acted in self-defense?
Yes, because legality depends on your actions, not just your intentions. Right?
Okay.
Intent versus action.
Oh.
You may feel justified. You may believe you had no choice, but the law looks at what you did, when you did it, whether it was reasonable, not just how you felt. Right? The almighty my feelings and how I feel.
I felt like I was,
and that's a big gap. Actually, I said it in your citizen defender class to you yesterday. What was I wanted to shoot them or whatever it was, right? I was like, ooh, that word, I wanted to.
Sure.
Like, I want to shoot that person, or I was legally justified to shoot that person, not I wanted to shoot that person.
Yeah.
Right?
That
little bit could make it you wanted to shoot him, Josh?
Oh, no, Your Honor. I didn't. Why?
Well, why did you say you wanted to shoot him?
Well, I wanted to that's what gets you in the trouble, right? Well, I felt like I had to.
Yeah.
I felt the need. He was so much bigger than me, or they were so, So what's the most common reason people get in trouble after defending themselves?
Right? They may use way too much force. Right? That was legally justified. That's something we talk about all the time. Can you make distance? We'll bring up a slide here in a couple minutes that shows this, part of the ClearSky system. But we see it all the time. I need to win. And winning is going home.
Yeah.
Right? It did.
Being legally justified. That's winning.
Yeah. People, the threat ends.
Yeah.
Right. It slows down or changes, but they keep going. Why? Adrenaline, a big one.
Yeah.
Emotion, another big
Huge,
one. Lack of awareness.
The
moment the threat ends, your justification can end right with it.
Yeah.
Right? We tell the little guys, like our little guy program does that. Like what's one of the big one I do in the preschool class? I act like the bully with them. I get down on my knees with those little guys, and I be the bad guy, and I push them or throw like a little fake punch, and they of course come in with fists of fury at me. And then I'm like, no, stop, I want my mommy, my mommy, and they're still punching me. And we go, hey, that guy wanted his mommy. I think he went from a bully to, and acting like a tough guy and pushing you around and saying all this stuff. But now he wants his mommy. What should you do? Stop punching him, make distance, right? And I need help. This guy attacked me. He was attacking me, right? We do that in our little guy program.
Yeah, all the time.
Right?
Oh, and it's funny because you watch him escalate, and when you watch him escalate, I mean, how does escalation get people in trouble?
By turning a defensive situation to a mutual fight is a big one. Like, you start escalating, we say that in the teenage program, work on your de-escalation skills. It's like escalating when your parents are mad. I'm like, go ahead and tell them they're stupid, and you don't like their rules. Like, see how that fixes your problem.
And there's practicing de-escalation after that.
Like, de-escalate. Do not escalate.
No.
Mutual combat equals a big problem.
Yeah.
If you engage for step forward, accept the challenge. That's a big one.
I've seen everybody do it.
Yeah. You may no longer be defending yourself. Now you're participating, right? Mutual combat. That changes everything legally. If you choose to fight, it's no longer self-defense.
Yikes.
If this is hitting a little uncomfortable, good, because this is where most training falls apart. Not in the technique, but in the thinking behind it. If you want to actually understand this at a deeper level, that's what we do inside ClearSky Training. Hey, Josh, I know you had another question because it's something you do.
What? I think you set me up here. So what role does your language play before fight? I do this all the time.
What you say frames you as the aggressor. We see this all the time,
right?
Even before anything physical happens.
Hey,
let's
go.
As they tend to say, words matter,
Yeah.
Right? And this is where I feel like words matter. Some of these other things going around, I don't agree with. But this, when you're talking about legality in a self-defense situation, now your words really matter.
Yeah.
Things guys say, let's go.
I know. I hear that. Kids
go ahead and hit me. That was one. As a kid, I'm like, if that guy hits me first, I can beat him up.
You bet. I remember that. I said the same thing.
Go ahead and hit me. That is a challenge.
Yeah, go ahead, hit me.
And you're escalating.
Right.
Some what
it becomes like a mutual combat.
Like,
I'd like to see you try.
Bring it on. Yeah, I want to see you try. These all can feel small, but legally they matter, right?
Yeah.
They show intent, willingness, and escalation. The fight often starts with words, so does the legal problem, right? I mean, you ramped it up. You ramped it up.
I did, and since I ramped it up, what should people actually focus on to stay within the law then?
Right? Avoidance, proportional response, and knowing when to stop. We'll bring up that slide here on there, right? The 5 elements of self-defense law: innocence, avoidance, reasonableness, proportionality, and imminence. That's a huge one. There's just a ton of slides that we have for visuals for school owners inside the ClearSky system. There's tons of it. Right? Knowing when to stop and control your emotion, right? Real self-defense requires control, not just physically, but mentally.
That's the toughest battle.
Right? Avoiding unnecessary engagement, using only the force required, stopping when the threat ends, not proving a point, not winning an argument, or necessarily like feeling you need to end that fight, right? Could you have gotten away? We say this all the time. Your Krav Maga people, like, you want to be aggressive. You want to end the fight, but then they don't. They don't know when to end it, right? It's like yesterday when you were going for my knife and I'm hitting you. I'm like, stop fighting me. I'm going to continue to fight you.
I was kind of trying to see if I could survive it.
I'm like, stop fighting me. Now, if you were covered up, like whimpering from your wife, I would have stopped right away, Josh, and I could have disengaged.
It's either you tell me keep going or whimper, Josh. I don't know which one it is.
Hey, I mean, that's the training
I'm
scenario.
just trying to
throw
survive.
Right? That's where people get themselves in trouble with, that they're throwing too many punches. In different scenarios. It's a problem.
If I could, I knew a guy that got into a fight and then knocked the other guy out and broke his fingers to try to prove the point after the fight was done, and got charged with some serious crimes.
I bet
he went back and broke the guy's fingers.
Oh my God!
It was in the East Coast. I won't say where. I'm not going to say his name. I know him, but that got him to
whereabouts on the East Coast?
Boston.
Oh yeah, that's totally
Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh yeah,
he was
my hometown.
He made a point to do it and got into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, that sounds like Boston. That sounds.
So I didn't want to say anything, but I don't want to throw Bostonites under the bus.
Was the guy from New York? Was he wearing a Yankees hat?
I don't know that. I just know that
he might have been justified if he was wearing a Yankees hat.
That was a lot of money on a lawyer for a Yankees hat.
All right, I'm probably making all the Yankees fans mad, but I did grow up going to the Pawtucket Red Sox. I was closer to Rhode Island border than Boston, but we're getting sidetracked on that. If your training doesn't include the legal side of self-defense, it's incomplete, because knowing how to fight isn't enough. You have to know when, why, and how much. That's what we build in the ClearSky system. If you want to go deeper on real-world self-defense, decision-making under stress, responsible firearms training. We talk about be responsible, train, right? Not just at the range. Everything we teach lives at ClearSky.training. ClearSky is where we break down the thinking behind self-defense, awareness, avoidance, judgment, legality, and decisive action when violence can't be avoided. If you're an instructor or gym owner, this is where we also help you build systems, structure your training, and raise your standard. If you're in Castle Rock, Colorado, and want hands-on training, that philosophy is put into practice at Rocky Mountain Self-Defense and Fitness. Thanks for listening to the John Hallett podcast. Train more, suck less.